verdict. You listen to Janice Forsyth. We're live on BBC Radio Scotland, and yesterday a brand new course launched at the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland in Glasgow. It's not being offered anywhere else in the UK. A degree in performance in British Sign Language and English for deaf actors, theatre makers, filmmakers. Claire Lamont is the course coordinator, and one of the key people behind it is Gerry Ramage from Solar Bear Theatre Company. Claire and Gerry are here, and Solar Bear, awfully busy, tons going on right now. This weekend they're hosting Progression 2015 at the Citizens Theatre, which is a celebration of deaf theatre, and they've got a new production touring Scotland called Tribes, and young actor Alex Nowak is starring in that. So Alex is here too, along with communication support worker Karen Forbes, who is signing for Alex. Alex is going to be talking to me, but Karen is doing some signing. So wherever you're listening, if there's the odd wee pause, that's why. Have I explained enough? I probably have, frankly. The main thing is, welcome everybody. Hello.
Thank you very much.
Hello.
Lovely to have you here. So the degree course, first of all, Gerry, you've been a driving force behind this. Tell us a wee bit about the idea, the thinking behind it.
Well, about 6 years ago, maybe a little longer, we started what is still Britain's only youth theatre for young deaf people. And very quickly there was a good deal of talent and interest emerged from that. But of course we didn't have anywhere to send them for further training, and that was frustrating for them and frustrating for me, and clearly not right that that was the case. So I approached Maggie Kinloch at the Conservatoire and told her really the predicament, and she very quickly agreed that something had to be done to address that. And after several years of working towards it, this week it happened. So yeah, we are absolutely delighted. Absolutely delighted.
So it has been a long process.
It absolutely has, because there's not been such a thing before. We've had to design the degree from the beginning, consider access issues in the Conservatoire. All the staff now have deaf awareness training, sign language training. Some of the students, I'm right in saying, some of the other students are doing that as well. So it's really about making the deaf students welcome in the building and being part of it, being part of that community.
Yeah. And it's beginning of term time. So what, Claire, yesterday was day one?
Yes, yesterday it all began, yes.
How was it? How many students?
Absolutely fantastic. We've got 8 students and one who will join us on Thursday from Romania, who's currently on a bus making his way here, which is fabulous.
Exciting.
Just in time for progression. And yeah, it was wonderful. So we had a big introduction yesterday, and all the undergraduate students were there, and the BSL and English students were there, and it was great. A really energetic bunch. It's really exciting.
I mean, it must be exciting and challenging setting up any new course, but somebody coming from Romania, I presume because this is unique, you will have students wanting to come from far and wide.
Yeah, I mean, Peter, who's joining us from Romania, British Sign Language, which is one of the languages of the course, is his 3rd language that he's acquiring. So it's incredible, you know. He's got Romanian Sign Language, then Romanian, and then British Sign Language. Cool. So yeah, there's support structures that we need to put in place for that. But yeah, it's really exciting that we will have this great bunch of pupils in the college making work that's hopefully going to inspire the other undergraduate students and then the industry.
Well, that's it. I mean, Gerry, as you say, Solar Bear on the go for a while, but also has a youth programme. So where does this take us with the degree programme that's fundamentally offering more than you could offer before?
Within Solar Bear, we can only offer so much, and training and learning is a big part of the work at Solar Bear. But undoubtedly, people reach a level where only a place like the Conservatoire can provide that level of exposure and experience to any actors, whether they be deaf or hearing. So it's a vital part of the development of the work, and it's vital for the industry as well. As Claire was saying, we're going to have hearing students training alongside deaf students, and the impact that that is likely to have in the future when all these hearing graduates go out there and work in the business. And they'll be used to working with deaf actors at that point. So hopefully in the producers and the directors and the writers of tomorrow, working alongside deaf artists will be part of their...
It's just taken for granted.
Yeah.
But so how different is the situation at the moment then? How much will this change? Clearly it's going to change how people think about these things. How receptive is the profession at the moment?
At the moment, the profession is very quickly actually getting there. We've had, part of what we had to do was research what the opportunities would be for deaf students once they graduated. And we've had an awful lot of support from the industry and encouragement from the industry to do that. Undoubtedly, at the moment, we do not have enough deaf artists. We don't have enough disabled artists. We don't have enough black artists working in our industry. But this will make a huge difference, I think.
So Alex Nowak is our deaf actor. I'm wondering how important you think this is to have the industry receptive and prepared to learn to work with deaf actors.
I think this course would be so valuable for any person who's got a type of hearing loss to learn how to act. I mean, I would, unfortunate not to have this type of course, but
Okay.
That's okay.
And I would love to know how Alex got into it. Alex, you've said that you didn't have this kind of course. So how did you get into acting and performing?
It started when I was about 12. I was just started drama lessons at school, and I had such low confidence at the time. And to portray different characters and to see other people performing different characters encouraged my confidence to grow. So I developed a passion for acting, and I got a distinction in BTEC Level 3 Performing Arts. And I was just generally around hearing people all the time, so I was learning a lot from them. And when I finished that, I went to Academy of Live and Recorded Art to do a summer course specialising in BSL theatre and BSL film. But that was only just for 1 month. But that experience that I gained was so valuable. Even though it was just a short time, I learned so much about being an actor. But this is a 3-year course, and it's the first one ever, so it's going to be even more valuable for those that are really interested in acting. That I think it's fantastic. And I'm just unfortunate I've not been given that opportunity.
But I know that you're going to be a role model for so many people too. That is absolutely for sure. And I just wonder, another question to Alex, from what you've said, a course like this is so important with the nuts and bolts of learning to be an actor. But from what you've said of the short experiences you've had, it sounds like a big part of it is just building up confidence to perform.
Absolutely. It's just been myself having to push myself into the acting world, tell people my name, get loads of experience from short films, feature film, music videos, just really setting up a database, putting my name on the internet, putting little photos of myself and just sending them to everybody and just trying to gain as much experience as possible. So I feel in a way I'm a bit of a fraud. I've sort of...
We all feel like that.
It happened over for, I would say, about 2 years where I was doing so much work, but experience. I wasn't actually like learning how to develop a character, learning how to act. That has happened over the past 2 years.
Yeah.
When I've actually started to get more regular roles, film work, going to Iceland to do a feature film out there, performing an autistic mute character. And just recently I've been cast in a play called Tribes, which is touring Scotland at the moment. So for the past 5 weeks I've been developing the character of Billy. So, and for me that is so valuable because I've managed to spend such a long time developing a character, and I've not had that experience before of developing a character. And I know that on this BA course that is one of the things they'll be learning, and I've been unfortunate to have that.
That is just brilliant to hear Alex speaking that way, because this isn't just about access, is it? No. It's about, that's important, but it's about actually learning the craft like everybody else would.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, it's there was a real issue not having access to be able to train. But the students that we've got are so exciting and bring so much to the conservatoire with them and so many different experiences. And I think we're all interested in telling stories and communicating that.
Yeah.
And so those stories need to be various, and we need to be looking at, it's brilliant that the BSL bill has just been passed. And so there will be more, sign language on our stages, and there'll be more sign language interpretation across councils with, various information being given as it should be. And it's really exciting, I think, for our industry that we have BSL.
Yes, and Alex just
stage.
gave a great plug to Tribes. So Gerry, tell us about Tribes, the story in Tribes.
Okay. Tribes is by a writer called Nina Rain, and she tells the story of a young deaf man growing up in a hearing family. And since his earliest years, he's been taught to use his voice and to lip read, and has had no connection with sign language or indeed the deaf community until he meets a young woman who's going deaf, and she has been brought up in a deaf family. And that, of course, introduces all sorts of quandaries with the character about where does he belong, and identity and communication. So it's a play about family, it's a play about communication, and it's a play about belonging, I suppose. It's a beautiful story, quite a powerful story, but one that's really important at this stage is told because it allows the hearing world to understand better some of the issues of growing up deaf, really.
Yeah. Well, look, I wish you all the very best of luck. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. And also to remind people that there's a 2-day festival at the Citizens Theatre in Glasgow this weekend called Progression. But thank you all very much indeed.
Pleasure.
Very best of luck with the course. We'll keep tabs on it. We want you to come back. And I really would love Alex to come back as well and talk to me about his burgeoning career in all forms of acting. Gerry Ramage, Alex Nowak, Karen Forbes and Claire Lamont, thank you all very much indeed.
Thank you.
So we've got Progression on at the Sits, Saturday and Sunday. Tribe starring Alex, directed by Gerry, currently on tour. So your dates, you've got the Bayern, St Andrews on Friday, Carnegie, Holland and Fairlin on Saturday, Paisley Arts Centre next Thursday. Further dates in Edinburgh, Aberdeen, Greenock, Dundee and Inverness in October. Just check out my show page for a link to all the information. Well, right now, before we head for the news, let's return to my session guests today, Greg and Pat Kane, Hugh and Cry.